Okay, in verse 5, we shift again. We see in verses 1 and 2 the emphasis on greetings and being called by God, and part of that calling is addressing false teachers. We see contending for the faith and dealing with false teachers in verses 3 and 4. And in verse 5, there's a shift to old and new apostates. A reminder of the Old in the Old Testament, and a reminder now they're living in the New Testament era where there's new apostates, new false teachers. And you and I are now living in an era where there's false teachers with woke agenda, let alone cults and everything else that we're facing. Verse 5 in the Bible, in the book of Jude, says, "But I want to remind you." So I want you to think, Paul says, though you once knew this, you used to know this, that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed those who did not believe. And he's reminding at this point now the believers, look, there's problems going on in the church. There's problems you got to deal with the local body. Today, the same thing. He's reminding us as leaders, and especially as believers, but especially as leaders, believing leaders for Jesus Christ. There's problems to face. And he's reminding us that, look, just because you started out of the gate fast or strong for Jesus Christ doesn't mean that you're going to end well. We want to end well. All of us are befuddled when we watch the Olympics and we see an athlete start out of the gate and leading the pack or on the verge of taking the lead, and then all of a sudden something happens. They either get a cramp or they get delirious if it's a marathon. We've seen that where people's bodies shake and they just couldn't handle the heat and all the sweating and the lack of hydration over 24 or 25 mile run or whatever it is. And we are just shocked when they can't finish the race. How do you think we're going to feel in heaven when we see believers that we know love Christ, and for a season they bore fruit for Jesus, but then they didn't end well? And then later their offspring, or later their people that they had discipled, don't even know the Lord. They thought they knew Jesus but didn't even know the Lord. And so here Jude's reminding, look, take this seriously. Take it seriously. That's what verse 5 is about. Start well, continue well, end well.